Alright everybody, this is Eric with the Off-Grid Guru here, and this is part 3 of an awesome interview that I just did with Alosha from Bio-Veda Academy. So if you haven't seen the first 2 parts, you probably want to check that out, because in part 1, Alosha gives us a breakdown of his cold climate Earthship with a compost reactor to keep it warm throughout the Russian winter. And in part 2, I get an opportunity to ask Alosha my questions about his radical design, and give him an opportunity to bolster some of his bold claims. And now with the presentation and the question and answer out of the way, and Alosha and I riding high off the fumes of this really exciting conversation we just had, we're going to dive deep into the next frontier of virtual reality technology, 3D printing, 3D modeling, and all sorts of exciting stuff, new projects that we're working on. So this is going to be a fun and exciting brainstorm session. Buckle up your seatbelts and get ready to go on a ride. But before we do that, let me make a proper introduction of the man who I'm about to share the mic with. Alosha is a Russian-based eco-architectural visionary who is combining the ideas of the world's most radical thinkers into one design. He's traveled the world studying with a who's who list of architects, natural builders, and permaculturalists. His innovative organic designs are inspired by the work of Gaudi and look like something out of Jacques Fresco's Venus Project. He created an educational platform called the Bio-Veda Academy and has taught over 1,600 students both online and at his hands-on workshops. I first discovered Alosha many years ago when I stumbled upon his YouTube channel, and even for me, someone who is obsessed with this stuff, discovering Alosha was a shock. Not because I thought he was crazy, but because I related with him. It felt like I had stumbled into an alternate version of myself from the future. A version of myself that dared to actually create designs right out of my wildest dreams. That's why I'm very excited to announce that I'm finally going to be meeting with Alosha live on air. Together we're going to sit down and discuss these wild designs and geek out over all things eco-housing. So I don't know what to tell you. If that didn't get you excited for this, then I don't know what will.
This is the next frontier.
Well, yeah, this is the next frontier, man. You know, because there's not that many people that you can talk to in the same industry that really get what you get that I get, which is that we're living in an age right now where there is such a surplus of materials and designs available to us in this technological age. I mean, just the fact that we're sitting here talking to each other from across the world, and you're mentioning that you went to do an augmented reality session, or you went to do a VR session to figure out how you were going to do your piping. I mean, that's the kind of thing that I obviously would love to be doing, because my designs get so intense, and oftentimes you just can't I mean, you have to close your eyes and really try to imagine and use your fantasy to picture some of this stuff that we're talking about here. And as you give a description of your home, one of the things that I think is the greatest loss that really exists right now is that there isn't like a 3D walkthrough of the Waddlearium, because I feel that would really give people a sense of being inside, you know, this jungle atmosphere that really holds you, you know. I'm so eagerly waiting when you do that, you know, it's going to be really cool.
Eric, picture this: opening a book on a page with a flat diagram, sticking your phone into a Google Google VR card box for $20, and having this page pop out in 3D right in front of you, and you're going with your 2 fingers and scaling it up, and suddenly you're inside a 3D waterarium, beautifully sculpted with plants and everything in VR. The plants will be done on VR because it's very check Anna VR brush on YouTube. It'll blow your head off. But what you can do with Google Tilt Brush, and or pages where you put your phone over, for example, and the flat diagram comes in 3D, and you can actually watch it all around with all the pipe work. This is where I'm going with the book. It'll be, you know, and it's already available. Go freaking Google YouTube now, Red Riding Hood augmented reality book. Just, you'll see this Red Riding Hood walking all over the book like insane, and a wolf jumping on it. It's crazy. And you just hold your phone over it. No, it's here. Eric, it's here. An augmented reality.
We're living in a great age right now. This is an incredible time to be living. We could probably, you know, that would be really fun. I mean, obviously what I want to do is I want to do live VR architectural sculpting, but what if you did a collaborative VR session where you could make quick amendments and do really quick rapid prototyping of designs with other experts. So you would have to just all meet in the same, and then you could really come up with a design that would be like many step iterations, all created in one. Oh, okay, you're pulling it up.
Guys, I love your idea of collaborating.
St. Petersburg.
Yeah, this is the one. So yes, Eric, you're spot on. If we could join up with a few people in VR space and plan and design, that'll be amazing, because it's not just Zoom faces. Like here, we're just looking at the screen. We could have a camera, like I've got a camera here. We could have desks. We could have sketches that we can bounce and share screens, and then jump into VR and do something like this. I mean, this is the first time I've put a VR on my face, and my whole model did not import. So I had to draw Wattilarium. So what you're looking now is a Wattilarium upside down. And this is the wetland. So I know it's very rough because, as I said, my 3D model did not import correctly. And because I was paying per hour, I couldn't, after 2 hours of trying to import it, I couldn't, mess about anymore. So I had to redraw the Wattilarium. But the only thing that imported was the geodesic dome. So I had to sculpt quickly Wattilarium. So this purple is actually the glass, but blah, blah, blah. So you can see, here we go. This is me planning the hot air that's going to run under the wetland. And those lightning bolts is the Earthship cold air tubes. This is amazing. Yeah, so this is the upside down. So this is how you can really, just a quick sketch, then you can see what's cooking.
Yeah, I understand. So you're coming from a underneath plan view. So you're coming from the upside down plan view. I'm not sure what that's called, and because it's so rarely shown. But anyway, so yeah, you're right under the floor plan, and you're drawing the tubing under the floor plan. Then you'd be able to flip your model over, and then you'd be on the top, and you could sculpt the.
And it's so easy to flip your model. You hold it like this, and with two controls, you go whoop, and your Wattilarium goes from A4 size to a size that's larger than this house, and you're inside. It's truly remarkable. And if that's what I can achieve after just 2 hours of being in VR, imagine what you can do if you work on a project for 2-3 months collaboratively with a few designers and builders. I think it's the next level where we're going to now. And if you can picture it, you can build it. So sure, we're spending a bit of time planning, but that's, rather make mistakes and realizations on paper and VR than having an excavator cover a wrong pipe and do a wrong thing. That's why the clay, so it's not just the VR or paper, the clay models, the physical models, 1 to 10 size, very important. Very, very important.
Yeah, speaking of physical models, I finally have my studio set up, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to, I wanted to wait to have our interview. When you first contacted me, I said, I have to get my studio set up because then I'll actually be able to have the Earthship model kit ready. And the Earthship model kit is an example of how 3D models are really instrumental in understanding how, a house functions and the geometry, and what would it be like if I were inside, what is it like to be standing inside the greenhouse here, and how exactly, how much space is that, So you could take your ruler and you could come down into here and you can check the scale, and you've got 3/16 scale on these models. So the floor plan is an accurate Earthship floor plan. And I love making these types of things. And, honestly, VR would have been the next step in the 3D modeling process, but I just used Google SketchUp for this and a combination of a program called Fusion 360. But anyways, my plan, by the way, going forward, I've been working really hard on it, and I'm really excited to let everybody know, is to take this and turn it into a new model. I want to make the second model kit, and that's going to be the Tiny. So right now, Ron and I are working on his Tiny Plus model, and I have the prototype here already. I only have one piece of the prototype. Sorry, I didn't get the prototype set up for you because it's just made of graph paper, but the Tiny Plus doesn't have the same geometry as this Earthship. This Earthship has the angled face, which is a typical global model by Mike Reynolds. Ron Chirillo designed the Tiny Plus Small Simple Smart Home, model kit that I'm working on right now. I haven't gone as far as to design this in VR yet, because I'm still using things like Rhino and using things like SketchUp and CAD exporting softwares and stuff like this. What I really see the potential of the VR landscape being is, you know, being able to really flesh out ideas in real time and being able to create quickly and make iterations quickly at low cost, because part of design is the fact that everything costs so much. You know, it takes time. That's why you and I at the moment, you know, have a whole ocean between us. And also, once we want to make something, we need the funds to be able to do that. So the Earthship model kit was, you know, originally the crowdfunding campaign I did for it wasn't for the sake of doing something else. It was only for the sake of just doing this, because at that time that was the great project. And what it also is it's information too. It's not just the model. So obviously the model means nothing if you don't have the blueprints alongside it, so that you can understand not only how to build it.
Wow.
So it's how to
It's
build
like
it.
Lego.
And oh yeah, so these are the pieces. So I brought a few things to show you here, because I've got a lot of material on my end that oftentimes people don't see the behind the scenes, but these are the pieces that are punched out. And so once you have these pieces punched out, you assemble them, and everything is all contained within a tiny space. So, you know, this could be in your backpack, or this could easily be given out to students, opposed to, you know, a thick textbook stack. I mean, this weighs, you know, half a pound, less than half a pound, and it has 4 pages inserted inside of it. And actually, when I was at my home in New York, my family home in New York over the holidays, I was able to get a hold of, where did it go? Here, hold on a second.
So while you're searching, I want to give you a cool idea of what can be added. Imagine having a couple of QR codes throughout the book that people can scan on their phone and actually be directed to your specific YouTube video. So when you're talking about berm, they take you to your video of you building that berm and put it, you know, or in my case, I want to use QR codes and augmented reality drawings that you put your phone over and it pops out in 3D. So I'll definitely give you some ideas, and, you know, I'm also writing a book, so we could definitely maybe collaborate on that as well. But
check this out. These are, I love your idea. I just have to keep going because I'm excited to show you this as well. These are the original first print registers. So they have the crosshair marks. So actually, this was like the coolest moment, you know, from going from design to reality, because it takes so long to get to the point where you actually have the die cut. And I have a video of this die cutting process where the machine is just rapidly inserting pieces of paper and it's just punching them out and it's just fishing it out to you. So these were the very first die cut models that I was ever given. So I had taken the time to figure out every single line of this. That's why I don't send this to people as a PDF to print and to cut. It would be an insult to the amount of work that went into creating this precision die cut model. This precision die cut model has pieces that are so fine and small, like, and complex, where the only way to create the geometry of some of these pieces is to actually get the model and assemble them yourself. Like these little boxes that are on top, the tabs that are necessary to put it together, how clean and nicely everything fits, and the quality of the paper, recycled post-consumer paper with, I forget why the ink is ecologically beneficial, but the ink is also good. And then, you know, the detail on this thing is incredible. You've got can work, you've got bottle work, you've got tie work, you've got the coffin door design that Mike Reynolds uses. And this is actually the first die cut model that I was ever handed. And I found it and I was looking at it and I realized that this isn't, there's only one of these that exists. So I took it and put it in my backpack and took it with me. But I'm working on this new model, the Tiny Plus, at the moment, and I love your idea. I did not think of that. That's an excellent idea. And at the moment, I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out what an incredible structure for this would be. You know, how can I tell an incredible story of basically working with Ron and Kirsten, you know, and I haven't talked to you too much about this, but you know, Ron and Kirsten are so inspirational. Kirsten is the former Earthship Academy director, and Ron is one of the greatest teachers at the Earthship Academy by far.
I've met them both.
Went to the academy.
I've met them.
Ron.
Yeah, I met them both when I went to Taos.
Yeah. So cool. This is a small world.
I stayed at Ron's house.
Yeah, exactly.
In the pit.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And so right now, we're building the set. So we're building a third. My point right now is that this is what the future looks like for me. I'm going to have to wait a little while till I end up getting to meet you in Russia. So we'll have to meet in VR first. But I'm going to be building another Tiny Plus model. It's going to be the third tiny home that Ron's built Earthship style in the same Earthship Greater World community here in Taos, New Mexico. We're going for a third. We've already documented the entire first, and Alosha has already given it his seal of approval. This is stamped Bio-Veda Academy approved videos that show more detail than the Earthship Academy, in your opinion. That's just my quote of you. That's not me saying that.
No, it's great. I was surprised by the installation. The installation video, specifically, if I could just go to a specific video, it was really, really good. The way you showed how the excavator took out the trench, leveled it out, how you put insulation, how you joined it so there's no cold bridges. It's the first time I've seen it being done, and I've gone through live build and I've gone through a full $1,100 academy, and it's the first time oh my God, that's exactly how it's done. I didn't even know that it's leveled prior you put in they never mentioned it or shown it. So that's
I mean, honestly, working with Ron is such a pleasure. He is so knowledgeable, and he is a veteran of the game. The guy has an Earthship Academy tattoo on his arm. That's how real Ron Chirillo is. For those of you who don't know who Ron Chirillo is the man. And when I've gotten the opportunity to work with him this last few months, I relocated to Taos to be able to do it. I created this studio so that I could put together all the information. I literally have an entire drawer full of hard drives. I've got a 5 terabyte hard drive, a 2 terabyte hard drive labeled Tiny Plus 2021. I'm about to invest in another hard drive to record this next build, which is going to be an insanely efficient iteration of the one we just built, where Ron and I are going to, like the Virgos and OCD creators that we are, take everything that we learned and everything that wasn't right and everything that failed and every detail from the dirt to the doorknob is going to be rethought, made less expensive, made more efficient. And I need funding, just like you're saying, like this is an incredible undertaking. And so what I'm doing is I'm putting together a crowdfunding campaign where we're going to offer the Tiny Plus as a paper model. So there's going to be a new version of the die cut high quality paper model. It's going to be Ron's design this time. So we're going to go with the Tiny Plus. It's going to be technically the Tiny Plus Plus because it's the third iteration, and it's going to be a simple and small, and it's going to be a smart and sustainable home. And it's Ron's design this time. He's the former teacher of the Earthship Academy, and now he's formed his own LLC called Environmental LLC, where he is working with us in Taos, New Mexico to develop it. And we've documented the entire build. We're going to do, I've got a gimbal now, and I have a drone. So we're going to cover this in the highest quality digital video content that exists on the internet today, tutorial series of 30 episodes, possibly, or even more, depending on how many details we need to go into.
Sell those. They're so worth it. If your videos were on sale, I would buy them. You just made it freely available, which is a blessing. But I really think they are of sale quality, of selling quality. I think you should sell them. And that's because we generated quite a bit on Bio-Veda Academy. We have 1,700 students. So I don't know, don't ask me where the hell I spend all the money, but we made some good money with Bio-Veda, and that's why I keep on continuing making new courses. And again, using better equipment, better microphones, very important. It's awesome that you got a drone. That's really the next, because I haven't even seen an Earthship from a drone, except one picture from a book. So yeah, go for it. I think we need to up the quality. It's the age, this digital age. People are looking for well-edited videos. It's all of that. They need, to engage. We want to have the youth to get inspiration, and that's why the VR is coming in, because they're all in that gaming mode. So what if we could, just an idea to end my VR thought. What if we could get students to, like in the metaverse, they'll all end up in this home that Mark Zuckerberg designed for them. What if when we get into the metaverse, we end up in this Waterlarium Earthship hybrid, and we can actually live and we can make a game where you can learn about water movement and air movement, and you grow your plants, you know, and the whole thing, and you actually get to live in this Earthship in the game. I don't know, you know, that kind of thing, and then you order it, and a whole container arrives. With a good way to make funds would be to make kits, like the water organizing module, the whole geodesic greenhouse can be all packed as a kit, all cut, Eric, it's all cut and ready. There's no cutting of wood on site. A container arrives, and then the whole house gets built from that fast with a 3D printer. It will be very viable if it's 10 homes going up at the same time, because you don't want to schlep a 3D printer across the country for one, you know. So really, we're looking at communities, we're looking at villages. And then it becomes really economic. As I said, a printer is $110,000. That printer can bang out a home every 3 days. The walls, all the walls. So in that 3 days, the foundation gets made by a team of people. Then a home gets put on top of it. Then the vaults go up in the method I've explained with those replicable formworks. And then it gets covered in earth and insulation, and an excavator buries the whole thing. An Earthship does not need to take 3 months and $400,000. We need to rethink that. But yes, then we do want to have 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 of them going up at the same time. This is where I'm going. So the kids get prepared in a different part of the country. That's one source of income. Somebody's making water organizing modules. Somebody's making the carpentry work, you know, and then they'll all get to the site.
So it was a pleasure to be on air with you, Alosha. We covered a whole bunch of things, and I think pretty much everything on my list has been checked, and I have even more to write down now. So we covered a lot, and we went as far as the imagination can take us. And all I can tell you is next time, I'm not just going to be putting an Earthship in the palm of your hand. We're going to be putting you inside a virtual Earthship, and that's exciting to me. So thanks for opening my mind to the possibilities that my imagination hasn't foreseen yet. And now I'm excited for the future, because I know that these things are on the horizon. And I would like to talk to you later about possibly attending that Catalan Vault, the workshop that you were describing. So
I'm booking a session either way. So as soon as our borders open, so maybe we can just pencil it September, October, because now it's starting to cool down, the building, maybe even November. Let's pencil it in for November, and I'll process that. The cost is 410 euros for 16 hours, 4 hours per day, 4 days. But we can maybe combine like a 2-week session, because I'm not going to go to Spain for a 4-day workshop. I want a detailed boom, like a 1 month session, full power. He's a master. So we give him a nice round figure and say, please, we wanna live and breathe this cattle. We want to learn the spiral staircase. We want to learn the vaults, the domes, not the domes. I'm not interested in domes anymore. We can make them out of bricks, but something complex. Really complex.
Screw domes. We're doing vaults.
We're
doing complex geometries everywhere. We're doing meshes, complex geometries. Anyways, Alosha and I are going to talk the future again and again and again, and watch us as we make it reality. So Alosha has his drawing class at the moment that I'm going to be attending again this weekend. We're going to be sitting down live to draw the Waterlarium, and I'm going to be inking my drawing that I have behind me. We're going to take this thing into Rhino and build it together. So actually, we're going to be having fun a lot sooner than you might think. Stay tuned for Alosha and I's collaborative efforts, because they're going to be wild and futuristic and crazily sustainable.
Yeah, check both of our websites, and Eric's model and my websites, and see if you can support us by not even donating, just purchase one of our products. We're not asking, we're not begging for money. Just take what we've created and give it as a gift to your friend if you don't need it. Bio-Veda.co. Bio from biology and Veda from knowledge, so .co.
All right, everybody. So this is the Off-Grid Guru on YouTube. We're wrapping it up, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Boom.